Hey, what's up everybody? I want to thank you as always for stopping by the channel. Annabelle Comes Home is hitting theaters this weekend. It's the third film in the Annabelle series. It's the seventh film in this Conjuring universe. It's also the directorial debut of Gary Dauberman, who also wrote the first two Annabelle movies. He also co-writes this one alongside James Wan. The film stars McKenna Grace, Madison Iseman, and Katie Sarife, as well as Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. The story is pretty much just set inside the Warrens' home when the evil spirit of Annabelle is conjured by the friend of a babysitter who's watching the Warrens' daughter for the night. Now, the first Annabelle movie was a miss for me. I did enjoy the prequel follow-up and the practical effects that it was able to deliver despite having a story that ran a little bit on the long side. I have, though, enjoyed the overlapping tone of this series, so I was interested in what this third entry would deliver, even though I wouldn't necessarily class my expectations as being on the high side. I certainly went in with an open mind, but still I thought this was a very entertaining movie that was able to create a more solid backdrop for this doll and the mysterious power that it possesses. It was certainly going through the motions of the genre, but still plugged in some more pieces of the overall puzzle, exploring the history that I enjoyed more than I was expecting to. As for the Warrens themselves, played by Farmiga and Wilson, they admittedly were not in this movie as much as I was hoping they would be, but I do think their presence was kind of there as a constant. I think as the story develops and it dives deeper into their sinister room of haunted memorabilia, we're able to learn more about the history of their careers and some of their other highlight cases. I think it gave the underlying beats of the overall narrative kind of a fresh vibe. At times, this was a continued origin story of Annabelle, but it was also showing a subtle focus on the Warrens' previous experience, all the while the main plot of the script was moving forward, and I thought all of these elements really did complement each other nicely to keep the pace moving and the intrigue up so that when the traditional horror elements would hit, they would land with more impact. Gary Dauberman's direction was very polished, and I think he did a great job at his first outing. The James Wan inspiration is evident here, but it's not really a hindrance, and to me, the carryover of the visual tone really does help with the continuity of the overall universe of films. There was a strong use of shadowing and lighting that were able to create some foreboding tension and some creepy imagery, and it was a major bonus for this movie. There wasn't a real reliance on jump scares as much as there was an emphasis on just combining various elements together with some clever editing to build fright and uneasiness. I think the camera really does just move about this home with a smooth flow, much like Wan has been known to do in the past. It effectively brings just an ominous life to the backdrops that are perfect for a horror movie like this, where you always feel like something is watching you just around the corner. As for the performances, I thought Grace, Iseman, and Sarife all did a great job. They were able to carry this movie along. In particular, young McKenna Grace, who not only brought in a very capable performance on its own, but I think she was also able to capture kind of the presence and the nuances and some of the personality traits that very much made her feel like a Warren. It was very subtle, and it wasn't really thrown in our faces, but there was just a inner strength to the character that was very much similar to what Farmiga has delivered in past performances as her mother. I think this is where the film is able to kind of keep that solid aura of the Warren mindset being in control of things while Farmiga and Wilson are off screen. As for Iseman and Sarife, I think they were both great in their roles. They certainly elevated some routine characters by just injecting them with sincere emotional swings and effort. The pace was pretty consistent, and the misdirection in the delivery of things at times is able to make up for some of the familiar tropes that it does follow. It's not extremely unpredictable, but at times some of the scares are, and it kind of works for me. I think this film really was able to hang on to my attention by maintaining that curiosity, and with a clear feeling the film isn't simply going through the motion and is really trying to continue this overarching storyline with some detail, does result in more than enough creative ambition to grab onto as the viewer. So I'll give Annabelle Comes Home a solid 70% on the entertainment meter. It was a good time if you've liked the trailers and you have enjoyed this creepy doll on the big screen, and I recommend checking this one out. I do think it's the best film in the trilogy so far. It isn't perfect and it doesn't really break the formula by any means, but the energy from it is certainly appealing, and it's a good time in the theater. Now for today's My Silver Screen recommendations, I'm going to select Dolls from 1987, Dead Silence from director James Wan, and one of my favorites, Monkey Shines from George A. Romero. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.